What's good, y'all? It's Javelle. Y'all see her little pretty self in the back right there. Look at her.
I'm in the camera.
Look at over there. Yeah, you in the camera. Look at how pretty. I'm gonna zoom in on you doing that too.
I went like this and it low-key sound like a fart.
I thought that was me.
Yeah,
Yeah, what did it say it was her doing that?
get a whiff of something soon.
But what's good, y'all, and welcome back to the Javelle channel. And today I have a nice little selection of about like 5 scary horror short films that I really want to get into. I'm not really the type to look into like a bunch of short films, but I've seen that there was like a nice little trend that went on with a bunch of them just dropping. Now I think this was a couple years back, but I'm about to get into it now. Eventually, I'm gonna have her little pretty self back there join in. I just gotta get a little extra things, and then she'll be sitting here right next to me, and we'll both be getting scared.
I won't be scared.
Y'all should see it. Whenever we be watching like horror movies together, she'd be like,
That's not true.
give me your arm.
Yeah, I do that.
She'd be so cute, y'all. But I'm gonna have her on here to play some horror games. You gonna play some horror games with me?
I will. No.
What, you just gonna sit here and watch me play them? She said no promises. But I'm gonna get her on here to play some horror games with me. If not, she'll sit right here next to me. Dang.
Just busted JoJo.
Y'all want to see that? Drop some thumbs up, go down, comment it if that's really what y'all want to see. Yes, I'm in the comments. I'm looking at y'all's comments. If y'all hating, I don't really care, because I already know on one hate comment there's gonna be somebody that responds to it, and then I just let y'all do y'all. Okay, enough talking, going on and on and on, because I be rambling too. I'm not gonna lie to you. So the first video we have today is by Alter, and it is called The Armoire. I think that's how it said. But a struggling actress moves to Hollywood, where she discovers a piece of furniture in her apartment is haunted by a malicious ghost. The Armoire by Evan Cooper. Alter. It's already giving off a nice little creepy vibe. I don't like that super dim light with that busted up truck. He ain't gonna throw it in the trash. Dang, you just out here littering like that? Okay. He on some dirtbag stuff right now. He just throwing everything on the ground, bro. Whoa, what happened to your hand? See, it was probably... Wait, did those marks on his face just now appear, or have they been there? I might be tripping. I do have my headphones turned all the way up because I'm not soft. Do it too. Oh, I thought like a hand was gonna pop out there or something. Boy.
Okay, so basically, just to reiterate, you're gonna wanna call this number right here and then this number right here to set up your gas and electricity. Water and trash are obviously included in your rent. And okay, if you could just sign right here and then right here and then initial at the bottom, please. Okay.
She get a new crib. Yep. Tenant information in.
Perfect. Awesome. Okay, these are your keys.
Yeah, she didn't put down no social
This
security,
one
y'all
right here is
scammers.
for the front of the building. Do not copy it. And this right here is for your apartment.
Thanks.
Welcome to LA.
How many people actually listen to that? Don't copy it though. Honestly. Ooh, that's nice though. That's clean. Yeah, that's really nice. If it's New York, that's probably like $2,500 a month.
No, I didn't think she would either, but you know, it's Granny. Mum, I just wanted to let you know that I did go a little over the rent that we agreed to, but I'm in a really safe neighbourhood, just like you and Dad asked, so I was just wondering maybe if you could send me a little more money just until I get started, and I promise I'll get a job ASAP.
What? You went over the rent? Give me your keys.
Thank you, Mum. Oh,
She
no,
did it, though.
Honestly, don't even worry about that. I know exactly what I'm going to do.
Oh, in LA, huh? Oh, snaps. You should know not to go near that. It's all taped up and everything, though. I wouldn't. I'd leave my stuff right there. Dude. Yeah, she was looking for cheap furniture and it was there, so I guess, why not? She got a dolly just sitting there too on the furniture. On the carpet. Okay. You better not be peeking your head out right now. I'm so close to the screen too. If anything pops out, it's going to be right in my face. Audition tomorrow for like a movie. Bro, what type of weird wall is this? Ooh, I hate that noise. I'm not gonna lie. That's one noise that I cannot stand. I'm doing that. Whoa. That's another thing I can't stand. Something running at me and I can't see it. Don't do that again, huh?
Hey. I'm hungry.
Want some food? Let's look at some food. You sit down. She got like 4 shirts in there and that's it.
Please don't eat, drink, or smoke. Trains
Wait.
are on platform.
You see the picture of herself on her own binder?
Alright. You never know with these things, you know? Yeah. No, I know. Anyways, Mum, I'm a little exhausted right now. Can I call you later? What time is it over there? Mum, can I call you back?
All of her clothes out on the floor or something? See, you invaded into his crib. So I don't blame him. Oh, a mark. Yep, the other old dude that dropped it off, he had like 2 on his face. And then that one right there. But how does she know that it's there though? Cause she just feel it. She felt it. Like a bump. She finna dig into the stash. You better not. Sarah? See, that's the difference between me and you. I wouldn't have been sleeping in there. That's crazy. That's really crazy. Some of y'all would do that exact same thing too. A cabinet with blinds like that. Oh my gosh, ew. That's ugly. Okay, she didn't do nothing. The sound scared me. That's why you need. I mean, not even. What? So it's moved in front of her door now.
What is that?
Ew. Eat more, please. His ribs was all out. Knife. Oh. Oh. It's different. Come on, turn around with an elbow. He had like a pig nose too. She got stuff all over her face too. What does he do? So what happens after he gets you? He had the stuff, she has the stuff, but they're both perfectly fine. Well, obviously she's not fine. So that was her. She slumped, he slumped. So they both get just like, those look like bullet holes dang near. They both just get holes in their head. Dang, Gerald.
Hey, hun. Come take a look at this.
Wait a minute. How was she able to bring that giant freaking cabinet and then bring it out there and toss it down? I'm not gonna lie, you did your thing, Evan. I'm not gonna lie to you. That was dope, but it wasn't really like the scariness that I'm really looking for. I be doing fake jumps. Like, it don't even be scaring me. I be faking. Ooh, if I saw something like that, best believe. So the next one we have here is called Peephole 2018. A man answers a knock at the door by Jash Pictures. Jash. I was probably Jash. If I'm butchering it, I'm sorry. A man answers a knock at the door. This is where it starts. Come on, bro. They gonna have you chilling here in your drawers like that? What? What type of outside corridor? Whoa, what is this? I don't like that. I'm back. Come here. That's you. You see yourself doing that and you just try to brush it off and walk away. That's not how... Stop. That's not how it works. Look at you. It's not funny anymore. So close. Break through, break through. Go towards him. You're not stronger than me. I'm gonna get close. Ooh. Honestly, I couldn't even imagine. Like, literally, imagine going over to your peephole, looking out, and you see yourself from the back. The crazy... Why did he try to, like, have fun with it? Why didn't you just... If you see yourself out there, first, open up the door. Nobody there. Okay. I'm leaving. I'm in my drawers, but I don't care. I'm leaving.
That's nasty.
The third video for today is called Ignore It, and it says award-winning, so this has to be super good. A family struggles to live with a spirit that becomes deadly if its presence is acknowledged. Oh, I don't know if I'll be able to do that right there. Based on the short story, you're going to notice a woman in your home. You must ignore her. I don't know about that. Like, imagine being down there washing your face because you already think about stuff being behind you as is. Imagine something actually being back there. You hear a bunch of stuff. You hear, hey, turn around. Turn around. Or something. And you're not supposed to look and you like can't acknowledge it. I don't know about that one. Ignore it. You got a little Game Boy Color.
Justin,
I ain't never had
I want
one.
you to listen to me very carefully.
I was broke.
The woman is back. Hey, you remember the rules. You must ignore her as much as possible, all right? Just
They got
look
straight
past
into
her.
it.
Don't look at her. Don't even think about her. Hey, look at me. I promise she's gonna leave, but only if you pretend she isn't there. All right? Promise me.
I promise.
Okay. Let's join your mom and Emily downstairs for dinner.
That's bold telling a little kid, don't do anything.
Now stay focused.
Tell them that, they gon'. Stop. You acknowledge that? I'm gonna whoop you more than that shit. You acknowledge it? I'm gonna whoop you worse than she would. He, she, I said both things.
Go ahead, eat your food.
I hope y'all not eating lasagna. Stop. So they've dealt with this before though, because he said she's back.
Algebra test go today.
I think I passed. I don't know.
That's good, Em. That's good.
I think I passed.
The dinner is it's great.
Thank you.
Dad, I don't understand what's going on.
Quiet, Justin. Pass me the salt.
Why is she back?
I said quiet.
Oh.
Come down here. Come downstairs.
But how do they know what to do and what happens though?
This is the only way.
He did it.
Just ignore it, Justin.
Is she invisible or something? What are you doing? I was about to. Oh, that's him. Ooh. It is a she. It's one of those ones. I knew it. Those grudge type things. You acknowledged it though. Charcoal hands. Move. Let me go.
It's okay, honey. Just finish everything off your plate.
Oh. That's not how you give no freaking massage. Get the freak off me.
I can't keep doing this.
Who gonna stop her? Cause Mr. Protector ain't.
Just let it
I'll get it.
Bro. There's one gone.
No, eat.
Imagine how it smells just going up into your nose. Made me want to cough.
Gail,
Leave my family alone!
Gail, come back to the table.
Whoa! He's pulling on the door. He's not even trying to turn it.
Justin, get back to the table.
Dang. Whoa! What type of boot did you hit that with?
Just ignore it. Just ignore it. Just ignore it.
That's absolutely wild. The wife had more guts than the husband did. She said, leave my family alone. He didn't say it. She said it. And then he got slumped off a door opening up. Yes, that boot might have been absolutely crazy, but still, it's like you're the protector of the home. Sacrifice yourself. But actually, since she did like acknowledge it in the first place, did that mean that it was just gonna go crazy and kill everybody anyway? Because I mean, she ran towards the kids at the end. I want to know the whole thing. Let's get into the next one. This next one here is called Kuchi Sake, the Slit-Mouthed Woman by Alexander the Titan. Cuphead. Rot. Is he supposed to be a dirtbag? He's already giving off that type of vibe. Look at him. Got his little flask.
Mine, even though it's aching. Smile, even though it's breaking. When there are clouds in the sky, you'll get.
This is a movie junk for real. You don't ever see somebody vibing like that. Yeah. How you doing? I'm walking straight back upstairs. She kind of dripped out. After you did that, what she's supposed to be like, oh my gosh, that was crazy. Here go my number. Oh yeah, you weird.
Hey.
What's up?
Do you think I'm beautiful?
Oh, snaps.
What?
Do you think I'm beautiful?
You walked up.
Yeah. As a matter of fact, I do.
You know, what about now?
Why don't you take off this mask?
You asked for it. Hey. Yeah, he's weird. He's really weird. Surprise, my boy.
Do you still think I'm beautiful?
Yeah, it's like some Joker stuff. Look at you. Look at you. She didn't like that.
What happened to you?
Ew! That was fast. Written, directed, and edited by Alexander the Titan. You did your thing with that, for real. That was really dope. It was quick, too. They got straight into it. I mean, dude came on some weird stuff. Y'all saw he had the flask in his hand. He was trying to vibe with himself, and he was on some weird stuff. Y'all know. So the last scary video that we have for today is 3 true Home Alone horror stories. As y'all see, it's a little bit lengthy, so y'all gonna sit here with me through it all. Story 1 and 3 written by Ariti Chatterjee. I'm getting like these difficult names. And story 2 written by Gustavo. I'm just trying to get scared, honestly. I haven't been like really scared, like on my freaking toes scared yet. And that's what I want. That's what I want.
It's been 20 years, yet the memory of this incident feels so fresh. I was 8 years old back then. I lived with my dad, as my parents were going through a divorce. My dad worked as a nurse at the local hospital, so he had to pull a lot of night shifts often. Whenever he had night shifts, I went to spend the night with my grandma, who lived 2 blocks away from our house.
This
But the night when
animation
this
is crazy.
incident happened, my grandma was out
I like
of town. It was a Saturday night. and my dad and I were all set to go out to dinner when his phone rang. After talking for a brief moment, my dad told me he has to rush to the hospital as it's an emergency. But he'll be back in an hour. He asked me if I would be okay to stay on my own for a while, which I gladly accepted.
Come over, y'all.
Being an 8-year-old, having the house to yourself felt quite thrilling. He got into his car and he told me to lock the doors and watch TV until he comes back.
Lock the doors.
I watched him drive away
Watch TV.
and then lock the door. It was my first time being home alone, so I felt like a king. I could do whatever I want now, and there's no one to scold me.
You a big
I drank a
8-year-old.
lot of juice,
Say
ate
that.
3 scoops of ice cream, 2 big chocolate muffins
That's a chocolate muffin? That look like boo-boo with sprinkles on it.
without having to ask for permission. I then ran into my dad's office, which always fascinated me. I sat on his big armchair and started to go through the stuff lying on his table. He had a fountain pen that often grabbed my attention. I started writing with it on his fresh white memo pads. After jeopardizing a few pages of the memo pad, I rolled them into a paper ball and aimed for the basket in the corner.
So he was really
15 minutes
acting
went
up.
by doing all these stupid things when I remembered about the clown head. A patient of my dad gave him a big rubber clown head before passing away in a terrible accident. My dad couldn't say no to the man, so he brought it home. But he kept it in the
Really?
garage, and no matter how many times I asked for it, he never let me play with that. I've always been a weird kid who was never terrified of clowns. Instead, I liked them. I loved their goofy appearance. I came out of his office
Different.
and walked to the garage. The house was so quiet that I could hear my every footstep creaking on the wooden floor. I entered the garage and turned on the lights.
I feel like in a way, being home alone, that's a good thing. And it's also a bad thing if you're scared of that type of stuff. Because, I mean, if somebody's there, you can hear everything. But if somebody's there, you can hear everything.
The clown head was about a foot tall, with no holes for eyes or nostrils. The clown face was drawn on. It can be creepy to some people, but not to me. As I already said, I had a fascination for clowns. I picked up the clown head,
Weirdo.
and suddenly, a stroke of cold wind brushed through my left shoulder. Holding the clown head, I turned back and saw nothing in that empty garage. The eyes of the clown were blue, and his smile was too big to describe. As I hold the clown head in my hands, a weird sensation took over my body.
Cold wind or
I
hot
began
breath?
to hear a voice in my head. The voice was hush, yet shrill. Put it on.
Okay.
What? Is anyone here?
What is this, goosebumps?
Just put it on. Before I could realize I was talking to myself, my hands lifted my head and made me wear it. I can't explain the feeling when my head entered the clown head, but I still feel something hypnotized me. Something made me wear it, using my own hands.
Yeah.
I stood like a statue for a moment. The clown head was weird from the inside. A
You
smell
feel
of
different.
rubber mixed with paint lingered inside of the air of the clown head. As I snapped out of my state of trance, I realized I didn't want to play with it anymore. Hence, decided to take it off.
Couldn't.
And that's
Yep.
when the nightmare
There it goes.
began. I casually pulled the clown head, but it didn't come out. Thinking it might have got stuck, I grabbed the top of the head with both my hands and pulled it again, but the head didn't move an inch.
Scissors.
Drops of sweat appeared on my forehead as I realized the air inside the head had started to warm up, and there is no hole for ventilation in it. I couldn't see or hear anything, and my breathing got heavy. Okay, it'll come off. I just have to pull harder. I told myself to keep calm and not panic. I started pulling the head, but it wasn't coming off. I tried to slip my finger in to create a gap, but it was...
I already have a fear of being like stuck in something and I can't get out of it, or having something on me and I can't get it off. I will, like, literally, if this happened to me, I don't know what I would do. I would have to grab some sort of scissors, cut it straight up or something like that, because that's a big no-no for me. I don't know. He's doing better than I would.
stuck around my neck too tightly. What the hell? I tried harder for a few more seconds and finally started to panic. The air inside the head was getting hotter with me panicking, and I started choking and gasping inside it. It was so damn easy to put on, but feels completely impossible to take off. Tears rolled down my cheek in fear. I screamed, "Dad, help me!" But then remembered I am the only one in this house. I couldn't make my way outside the garage, and it also didn't feel safe to walk with this head on. I feared if I stumble down, then I'll get more injured. Slowly, I started to suffocate. I grabbed it, pulled it, hit it with my small hands, but nothing helped. I screamed and felt even more terrified, hearing them cough inside the clown head. There's no way my neighbors can hear me, which means if I don't take it out myself, I'll die.
So can he not see
my
through
ears
the
turned red,
eyepieces?
and I can feel my entire face burning. The situation was so claustrophobic that I peed my pants. I was suffering and crying. I prayed to God to get me out of this, and I will never look at it again.
The Lord will
My
do
paranoia reached such a level that I felt pressure in my neck and vomited at once. The juice, muffins, ice cream all came out from my mouth in the worst form possible and started to float inside the clown head, which was also running out of breathable air. The toxic smell of my vomit mixed with the rubbery smell of the clown head made me realize death is not far away. As I moved left to right in panic, the vomit moved around my nose and ear, which resulted in me vomiting more and more. I couldn't stop myself, even if I wanted to. Now, I was choking in my vomit under the worst circumstances possible. My nostrils got blocked by the disgusting fluid, and my ears felt numb. A shrill beep was going in my head that started to blur my vision. I understood if I don't do something quickly, I am not going to survive. I pulled and pulled, but the head was getting tighter around my neck. I was trying hard, but suddenly my hand slipped, and I fell on the shelves at the garage wall. Trying to regain my balance, I fell on the floor at my back, and the vomited fluid went behind my head and let my nose finally pop out. I was searching for something when my hand picked up a metal tool that had fallen from the shelf. It was a spanner. I placed the pointy arc between my jaw and the clown head and started to put pressure on the head to come out. The spanner created a small gap, and the gooey fluid started to drip from the gap. I kept still until most of the fluid flowed away and some amount of air flowed in, giving me a chance to fight back. Once I regained my sanity, I grabbed the spanner real tight and said to myself that in the count of 3, I'll put all my pressure so that the spanner pulls up the clown head. 1, 2, 3. As I did what I planned, a cracking sound took place with horrifying pain that made me scream. The clown head tore from that one corner due to the pressure, but my jaw broke as well.
What?
Smeared in blood, vomit, and sweat. When I finally took the clown head off, I heard footsteps coming at me while screaming my name. Andrew! Andrew! Oh my God! Andrew!
Andrew!
I woke up in the hospital 2 days later. Doctors had to clip my left jaw back, followed by 7 hours of surgery. There was nothing to do, no one to blame, as it was an accident that happened to a stupid kid who did a stupid thing while being home alone. Luckily, my broken jaw got better with time, and I don't have difficulty talking or eating, as steel plates are attached inside my mouth to support my facial structure. The only thing that bothers me is my scar. I have this huge scar.
You're a grown man now.
It forms into a disturbing smile whenever I stretch my lips. I've lost my face forever. Now, there's an invisible clown head resting on me.
Honestly, why even
keep it? For the rest of my life. It was a cold August morning. It was a typical Thursday workday that for anyone would go unnoticed. But in Mike's case, it was a special day. The young man had just broken off a relationship of more than 10 years and was just recovering from that experience. He was advised to go out, meet new people, or enjoy the nightlife. But he had another plan in mind.
Go out and meet new people right after severing a 10-year relationship? Why do I get the feeling that that's not a good idea?
The young man was just recovering from that experience. He was advised to go out, meet new people, or enjoy the nightlife. But he had another plan in mind. The young man had asked for 2 days off from work and talked to his uncle to borrow his house in the mountains. A spiritual retreat where he has no signal, no internet, and his cell phone would remain off. There are no neighbors around to bother him, and his ex would not be able to contact him either. Before he left, his ex-girlfriend's van was waiting for him outside.
Whoa.
Are you sure about this?
Of course.
Ex-girlfriend or
Amanda,
Walter
I know
White?
it's something that'll do me good.
With a wig.
Having a whim and hiding in the mountains is not my idea of something that can do any good.
It makes sense, but it'll work for me.
Don't come crying to my house if you're being chased by a Yeti. Your uncle is capable of hiding them in the closet.
With any luck, I won't even meet my own shadow. It's just a few days, and I'll see you.
They be talking, neck be going down like this and stuff.
I won't even meet my own shadow. It's just a...
Hiding them in the closet.
With any luck, I won't even meet my own shadow. It's just a few days, and I'll see you and talk things over. Okay?
Okay.
Mike traveled for more than 5 hours, and when he arrived, everything was as he expected. Despite being small, the house was nicely decorated, and the furniture was kept in perfect condition. To his disappointment, the phone still had a signal, and he immediately received a call from his uncle as soon as he arrived. Hey, Uncle. Good morning, Mike. Are you home yet? Just got here, and I was able to get in.
His uncle setting him
Do
up.
you have cameras? You just called me as I walked in. That would be a very good investment, but unfortunately not. Tell me, why don't I hear your friends? You went with them, didn't you? Yeah, well, we're all here. I had to move away so they wouldn't start making jokes while I was talking. Oh, well, great. Take care of the house and remember to call me if you have any problems.
He's watching.
Great, thanks a lot. The young man remembered how he had to lie to his uncle, saying that he wouldn't enter the house unless he went with his friends. His uncle was one of those conspiranoid people and went on about how he didn't want to go into that house for fear of finding aliens, so Mike usually ignored him. With a small, complicit chuckle, he thought of how little use the house would have been if he had to share it with someone else. After a full day of relaxation and tranquility...
Wingspan is crazy.
After a full day of relaxation and tranquility, Mike went to sleep with immeasurable peace, but it didn't last long. A strange noise made him open his eyes. The room was dark, and the moonlight was barely coming through the window. Mike thought it was probably raining, so he tried to relax again. Before he could fall asleep, a beam of light hit his eyes and alerted him. Opening them,
like a flash,
he realized it was the moonlight shining directly against the window. Mike tried to continue sleeping, but paranoia overcame him. He could not convince himself that it was all a dream. So the young man got dressed and slowly got out of bed. He looked out the window and saw no one. After returning to bed, the young man was about to cover himself, but an image froze him with fear.
Whoa, what?
As he made his discovery, the blood in his body froze, and fear came over him so suddenly that every fiber of his body translated into pain.
Like a paralysis?
The window a few feet away was closed, but there was a dirt trail that started at the window and ended under his bed.
Oh, heck
The only
no.
thing Mike could think of was to take a big leap from the bed and start running. Maybe grab a knife and hide, or maybe drift away until daylight. But suddenly, he was falling and hitting his head against the wall.
Heck no, bro.
Whoever was under his bed lifted to one side, causing Mike to fall. Immediately, something jumped out of the mess of sheets and rushed at Mike's body. By the time Mike could react and understand what was happening, a tall, white, gangly man stood above him with a knife in his hand. His blue eyes were wide open, staring with unwarranted anger into Mike's eyes. Despite being very skinny, this man had a lot of strength and knew some martial art, since his whole body was arranged in such a way that the young man could not move a muscle. Please, don't kill me. I closed my eyes. I didn't get to see your face. Mike cried desperately with tears in his eyes, without moving a muscle. Just take everything. I'm not gonna move from here. Tie me up if you want. So you didn't see my face, and you promised not to move, kid? I swear, I'm not interested in justice. If you don't believe me, I don't have a landline here. Take my cell phone and my car.
How do you even get in?
A kind and cooperative boy. Tell me, kid, where are the valuables? Move the dining room furniture. You'll see a hole.
Where are the valuables?
Move the dining room furniture. You'll see a hole. I have money stored in case. Without letting him finish his sentence, the psychopath began to cut Mike's forehead with his knife, tracing a horizontal line. Sorry to interrupt you, kid, but you will.
honestly, at this point, whenever it's on there, on your head like that, if your hands are free, flip him over. But they said that he's super strong, and he's skinny. Bro, oh my gosh, I don't know. All I'm saying is if your hands are free, you could do something.
You're boring me. A horizontal line. Sorry to interrupt you, kid, but you were boring me. I was telling you where you could find my money. You see, I have no intention of robbing you. The only reason I have to visit you is to see you bleeding. Why? Because I saw you while you were pumping gas on the way here. And to be honest, you have a face of a squealing pig, and I love it. With that said, the imposter slowly plunged the knife into Mike's hand, making sure to twist the knife into his skin. Meanwhile, Mike was still not opening his eyes. Fear had taken over his whole body, which remained motionless next to a person who had the intention of taking his life. He thought of his family, his friends, even his ex.
Fight back!
Suddenly, the psychopath released the knife and began to beat the boy savagely, while he could only cry and beg for mercy. In a moment of clarity, Mike opened his eyes and noticed how the criminal had his eyes closed and pointed upwards, as if enjoying.
He has his eyes closed.
The boy used all his strength to push him down. Mike
there you
stood
go.
up and ran desperately, but he was bouncing around trying not to fall. He had lost a lot of blood and received many blows, so he was very dizzy. At the moment, Mike felt he had the man behind him, about to catch him, but when he turned around, he was still on the ground, laughing, as if enjoying the show. Without
Mike,
grabbing
you're
his
lame.
car, Mike just ran as far away from the house as he could, hoping to run into someone to help him. As he was escaping, he could hear the man's taunting cries from the cabin. "Run, little piggy! Fly to your freedom! Don't stumble, or you might hit your head. And who knows what the evil killer will do to you. I'll be waiting for you. When you want to come back, I'll always be at home." When he returned the next day with the police, no one was there. The criminal, a known patient from a nearby insane asylum, had even gone to the trouble of cleaning the house. Mike had no intention of staying or returning to it. From that day on, every time his uncle mentions an alien, he laughs generously. And
he looks
thinks
like
that
his
having
uncle.
an encounter with a human could be much worse.
See, it's like if you were able to push him over like that so easily, just like that, he wasn't as strong as y'all said he was.
I think there's something in my house, and I'm not just saying it. My name is Lucy Barbera, and I live in the outskirts of Ohio.
Okay.
I was married to a man named Daniel 2 years back. He used to be a worker in my father's factory. My father grew fond of him and arranged my marriage with him. I never had much say when it came to my life. My father was a strict man, and after my mother's death in my early childhood, he raised me with all he had. I'm not saying he didn't love me, but he did show too much authority over me. He thought whatever he thinks, he decides will be best for me. Not having enough self-esteem, I could never stand up to him. When I turned 18 and finally thought of doing so, he got diagnosed with cancer. His last wish was to see me settled by marrying this man.
I'm not gonna lie to you, they got his lineup going crazy.
Daniel. Daniel was a bit older than me, but he was a hard worker and had some family wealth. He too was an orphan, so my father immediately took him under his wing. My father died a week after our marriage. Daniel wasn't a talker, and he was way more reserved than I anticipated at first. But the thing I respected about him was he never forced me into anything as my father did. After getting married, I moved in here to live with him. He took over my father's business and managed it. Despite being married, we kept our distance. Everything was going okay until last Thursday, when my husband died. Yes, Daniel's dead. In his last few months, Daniel worked late night in his study downstairs. He said he was working on a new business strategy. I knew how extremely serious he was about work, so I never bothered him. But it was 3:10 in the morning when I sprung up, hearing a loud bang. I ran downstairs, and as I opened the study room door, I saw a vicious sight. Blood was splattered all over the table and the wall. Daniel was sitting on his armchair, and his face was gone, along with part of his brain. A handgun was loosely hanging from his left hand. The cops were called, and the incident was ruled as a suicide.
Got to be too much for him.
Everyone told me to move out of the house, but I knew I couldn't. On the first night of being alone in this house, I started to experience some weird things. I was cooking in the kitchen when I heard knocks on my door. It was 7:30 in the evening, and I wasn't expecting anyone. I walked to the main door
Peephole.
and looked through the peephole.
Yeah.
There was no one outside. I stared for a while, but saw no one.
You better
The
not.
empty street stood still. I turned back to walk away when I heard the knocks again. Thinking some neighborhood kid was pulling a prank, I opened the door and again saw no one. I waited on my porch to notice some suspicious activity.
That's
but
just
nothing
letting them in.
happened. I locked
Come
the
on.
door and
Okay.
returned to the kitchen. After dinner, I came to our bedroom, which was my bedroom now. Sleeping on the same bed that I shared with Daniel felt very unsettling to me, but I was really tired. I wanted to cry like every normal wife, but not having any real connection with my husband made crying impossible for me. I can't fake tears. I laid down on the bed and, after struggling for half an
That's sad.
hour, fell asleep. The house gets too quiet at night. The loudest sound one can hear is the ticking of the clock. I don't remember how long I slept, but suddenly I started to feel chilly. The blanket was below my waist. I pulled it up to my neck. In that drowsy state, I rolled to the other side,
Whoa.
and someone breathed on my face. It happened so quickly that I just moved my head away without opening my eyes, but within a fraction of a second, I realized there's no one else in this house. I am alone. I woke up with goosebumps. Drops of
stank
sweat
breath?
appeared on my forehead, and I took a good look around the room. The moonlight from the window illuminated my view. Realizing I must have scared myself in my
Nah,
sleep, I reached for the glass
was
of
there.
water I keep on my nightstand. I must have taken one small sip when I...
Y'all ever dealt with some sort of like sleep paralysis thing? Because I hear some people's stories on that are like crazy. It's wild. I remember one time I think something like that happened, but I didn't see anything. I kept my eyes closed, and guess what I said? I said Jesus, and it stopped.
My eyes went to the clock, and that's when my stomach dropped in fear. It was 3:10 in the morning. I knew very well
3
that
a.m.
all the doors and windows were locked, so there was no chance someone would enter this house without breaking in. I slowly got up from the bed and went downstairs. The study door was closed. With trembling hands, I opened the door. The flashback of that night was going through my head, but this time the study looked completely normal. I stepped in when the light bulb of the room exploded and the study door closed hard behind my back.
No.
Feeling horrified, I screamed at the top of my lungs when a black shadow figure appeared in the dark corner of the room.
What
The shadow looked human, but only had eyes. The rest of its body was just pitch black. The pair of bloodshot eyes stared right at me and said in a broken voice,
I am sorry.
"Daniel? Is that you?" But the voice didn't answer
not
my
Daniel.
question, and the light came back immediately. I remembered the light bulb breaking into pieces a few moments back. How was it shining again like nothing happened? Gradually, eerie things started to happen around the house after that day. An invisible presence walked the house 24/7, and I could feel it watching me. One day, I was ironing some old clothes of Daniel's when a pair of cold hands grabbed my shoulder from behind.
Oh.
I almost flinched and screamed in fear.
That's not comforting.
Who is it? Daniel? Are you here? No reply came
I'll
for a
rebuke
few
you.
seconds, but then a loud thud came from the study.
In Jesus'
I
name.
went to the study, grabbing a flashlight this time. As I picked it up, I saw it wasn't a book, rather a diary. As I read the diary,
he was writing a diary the
hair
whole time?
at the back of my neck stood up. It was Daniel's diary. He wrote
course.
disturbing things in it.
Today, I met Mr. Barbera's daughter, Lucy. The old fool has decided to marry her with me. I didn't plan for this, but now I had no other choice. To inherit his property, I must marry Lucy. But I
Oh,
have already
snaps.
made my second plan. The only obstacle between me and the property is Lucy. I will wait a couple of years and then drop my next and final move. I will make her death look like an accident. But how can she die? How can I make it happen without getting caught?
This is all a ploy.
And then, for the next few pages, Daniel had scribbled ideas through which he could make my death appear as an accident. Some of these included slipping down the stairs,
So Daniel was really out here plotting on her death. It was all fake. Daniel just wanted that bread. Wow, how can I fake her death? What type of junk is that? So was his death fake then?
Some of these included slipping down the stairs, catching fire while cooking in the kitchen,
What?
etc. My skin crawled, thinking I slept next to a man for 2 years who was looking for a window of opportunity to kill me and inherit my father's property. I was reading the diary with a panicked face when a gush of wind touched my hair. What the? I turned around and the shadow was back. But this time, the light in the study didn't go out. The shadow with bloodshot eyes kept staring at me like before. I said in a fumbling voice, "Daniel, you're supposed to be dead." For the first time, the shadow replied to me. What it said still rings in my ears like an ominous tune. It said,
I'm not Daniel.
I dropped the diary on the floor and started to run for the main door. The invisible spirit that I mistook for my dead husband was not him, and this was enough for me to leave that house right that moment. I was a few inches away from the main door when 2 firm hands grabbed my feet and started to pull me back to the study. I screamed and tried to kick, but I was just screaming at the air. There was nothing, but I was being pulled away by these evil hands. Suddenly, I was thrown inside the study, and then I heard a very familiar voice.
I am sorry, Lucy. I should have never married you with Daniel.
Father? Oh my God!
I just realized because she had actually, this beautiful woman had told me this says 3 true Home Alone horror stories. I thought they were just like regular put together stories because I think in the description it said stories written by somebody.
Okay.
It said something like that. But yeah, I didn't see that it said true.
It says true. Home Alone horror stories.
So this girl right here then, me thinking about it, is getting dragged by nothing. She says she's getting dragged by her legs and she can't see anything.
I screamed and tried to kick, but I was just screaming at the air. There was nothing, but I was being pulled away by these evil hands. Suddenly, I was thrown inside the study, and then I heard a very
Stop. What are you laughing for? What are you laughing for?
I'm getting out of here, bro, because,
What? No, you're not.
It's some fake junk.
voice. Suddenly, there was nothing, but I was being pulled away by these evil hands. Suddenly, I was thrown inside the study, and then I heard a very familiar voice.
I am sorry, Lucy. I should have never married you with Daniel.
Father?
Her dad is the dude that was... What?
A black swirl of wind started to roll in the middle of the study room and slowly took the form of my father. He stood there with a pale, dead face and uttered,
"How was her dad here?"
Final time.
I'm sorry. Forgive me.
He disappeared into the air. I'm still living in the same house.
What?
And I feel like whatever was stuck here might be gone now. I'm seeing this therapist who thinks my grief-stricken brain resulted in those terrifying hallucinations. I wish I could believe the same and move on with my life. But when I recall how Daniel shot himself in the head with his left hand, my stomach drops. I failed to notice it then, but later I remembered that Daniel was not a left-handed person. His dominant hand was the right one. Do you know why this little detail creeps me out? My father was left-handed. Is it possible he rose from the dead and possessed Daniel to take his life before he could take mine? Is it possible? Or am I just going mad, alone in this house?
See, now I gotta put pieces together.
What happened? I can't hear nothing, y'all.
Yeah, she can't hear. They said
Bro, why do they have 3 true Denny's horror stories?
Right, what be going on in Denny's?
Bro, we have to watch these.
Seriously. Yo, she needs to stop it and she needs to come on here.
It's not about that. You don't even have a cord to have me even on here.
I be asking her, she be like, "No, I'm not about to be in none of that." That said that, so that girl, she has or had a husband that killed himself after her dad passed away from cancer. She had a husband that killed himself with a gun. And later on, she thought to herself and realized he shot himself with his left hand, saying that he was right-handed, but he shot himself with his left hand, and her dad was left-handed, saying that she thinks that her dad came back from the dead and possessed him and shot himself in the head with his left hand. Okay. That's what she's saying right now.
that's why I don't mess with that junk, because they just be trying to make up some stuff. Like, stop playing with me right now. Like, I believe this water bottle in the past was a raccoon. I'm gonna tell you why. No reasoning behind it.
No reasoning.
I'm probably offending the creator, but good animations though.
Yeah, it was actually really good. Like the animation is dope.
Yeah,
they
really
do really well with that.
For sure.
I wonder how long it even takes for them to like make that stuff and put it together, because they do so good.
They probably bought that video off me for real, because I really do this.
You animate?
Yeah, I've been doing that.
But alright, y'all, that was a bunch of different scary videos. I only jumped probably like 3 times. That's it. I'm trying to be on my toes, you know, hands shaking like these. But none of that really like stood out for real. They were all dope, don't get me wrong. They were all really good. And shouts out to all the creators that made all those. But I really want to be scared. If y'all know some super scary videos or short films that are all on YouTube, send them down in the comments, in the emails, wherever, because I need to be tested. I just want to say thank every single last one of y'all for taking the time out of your very precious day to come and watch this scary video with me. All these were dope. Shouts out to every single last one of y'all. Y'all are doing y'all thing, and I really am grateful. I appreciate every single one of y'all for watching and for supporting me throughout everything. I'm just gonna touch on it one last time as well. You already know what I'm about to say. If you are here from the other content that we did, the couples content that we made, we don't want to do that anymore. That's not a passion of ours anymore. And if you really truly have a problem with us not doing that anymore, but you're still subscribed here, nobody's forcing you to do that. We're not gonna.
Too sweet. You look too sweet.
Oh,
this is his channel now. If you have an issue with us not uploading couples content, it's super simple. Hit the unsubscribe button. It's that simple. It won't pop up on your page no more. Alright? If you want to spread hate, spread it to your mama. Because we're gonna leave it at that. God bless y'all. And shut up. You too sweet. Because he done said this, what, twice?
Yeah, I said it like two other times.
Look.
Something like that.
Ain't happening. This is not the Yaz and Bell channel. No longer. Javelle.
I'm super grateful for her. She's done so much for me. Oh my gosh. Thank y'all. Seriously. And I really hope that all of you have a blessed day.